Prepositional phrases are often used in writing. In this video, we're going to look at a few phrases that begin with the preposition at. A prepositional phrase is a group of words including a preposition which acts as an adjective or an adverb in a sentence. When used as an adjective, the phrase is going to answer the questions which one, what kind, how much, or how many. When the phrase is used as an adverb, it will answer these questions: why, how, when, where. Here are a few prepositional phrases beginning with at. We will look at each one and use them in some sentences. At the beginning of. At the beginning of the meeting, the manager gave out the agenda for the month. This phrase is fairly straightforward and means that something was done at the start of something. The sales were not as good as at the beginning of the year. This phrase answers the question, when. At all costs. This phrase means that something is done no matter how much it costs in money or time or effort. Civilian casualties must be avoided at all costs. This means that all effort should be made to avoid civilian casualties. Here's another sentence. They needed to avoid problems with production at all costs. This would mean that they needed to make every effort not to have problems with the production. This prepositional phrase answers the question, how. At first sight and at first glance. At first sight means when you first saw something. At first glance has the idea of a very quick look that did not give all the information that was needed. It was love at first sight. At first glance, the problem seemed impossible to solve. In this sentence, at first glance means that when they first looked at the problems, they thought it was impossible to solve. But after taking some more time, they discovered there were some possible solutions. This phrase answers the question, when. At a glance. This is similar to at first glance, but has a slightly different meaning. This phrase means something could be decided quickly by just a quick look. He knew at a glance what needed to be done. Here's one more sentence. He took in the scene at a glance. This means that he looked at the whole area with a very quick look. This phrase answers the question, how. At length. He spoke at length about the situation facing the company. At length means that something was done taking a long time or thoroughly. The matter was discussed at length in the meeting. This phrase also answers the question, how. At hand. The task at hand was a difficult one. At hand means what is right in front of you. So the task that was in front of this person was a difficult one. It was a great comfort that help was close at hand. This would mean that there was help very close by and it was a great comfort. This phrase answers the question, which one? At once. At once means right away. The company chose to change the design at once when the problem was discovered. They left for the hospital at once. This phrase also answers the question, when. At last. The company at last chose to change the design. Another way this could be said is, in the end. At last, the problem was solved. This phrase also answers the question, when. At the latest. The company will go into production by November at the latest. This means that production would happen before the beginning of November. I will be there in half an hour at the latest. This means that they will arrive before 30 minutes passes. This also answers the question, when. At present or at the moment. At present, the problem has not been resolved. The relationship between the two parties is not good at the moment. Both of these phrases mean now, which answers the question, when. At the same time. They both arrived at the same time. At the same time, there was a need to change the way things were being done. In this second phrase, it is adding some more information that needs to be considered concerning some kind of problem. This phrase again answers the question, when. At times. At times, there are challenges that are difficult to overcome. This phrase means occasionally. He can be very difficult at times. This would mean that he is occasionally difficult. Again, this phrase answers the question, when. At random. At random means something that does not have a definite method or aim. It appeared that the company chose the design at random. Names were picked at random for the position. This phrase answers the question, how. At short notice. This phrase means that not much time was given. The company chose to change the design at short notice when the problem was discovered. They made a quick decision. The meeting was arranged at short notice. People were only notified of the meeting close to the time of the meeting. Again, this phrase answers the question, how. All of these prepositional phrases beginning with the word at are useful in your writing. Look for these in your reading and use them in your writing. Knowing how to write and use prepositional phrases will improve your writing skills. Try using some of these in your writing assignments. Happy writing!